Hello again. This past week we looked at life as the information, how information is expressed. The principle is life is information expressed. And we opened up information about DNA, about messenger RNA, some proteins, how the translation and transcriptions take place, how everything has these particles that have this information. The chapter talked about chromosomes and how each individual species has its own size and set of chromosomes. All of these things that are so specifically designed and required for natural development to occur. We're going to this week in lesson 7 in chapter 8. We're going to continue to look at information in the cells, but we're going to talk about the cell cycle and how cells know whether to replicate or how they know to just die off and go away so that new cells can take their place. We look at some of the examples are mutations, how mutations occur, and why mutations of just one simple cell can actually produce a cancerous tumor, can produce sickle cell, can produce leukemia, how just the information not being transcribed properly and then the cell not dividing properly can begin to cause all these abnormalities. And in reality, it only takes one cell. And so to look at life in design as a design by a creator, we have to understand that everything that functions what we would call normally has been pre-managed, pre-directed into a cycle or into a system that will continue what we call normal development. At the same time, we're looking at the fact that all cells have this information. All DNA has certain information. RNA sends messages or transmits certain information. And that in all of the things that we have, all the species, all the people, all the products that we have of creation, as they function in what we call the normal level or the normal way, what we expect to happen, it only takes a small, very small mutation to make some major difference in that development. And so when we're looking again at randomization and the fact that within randomization, there is so much more chance and probability for those mutations to occur and then change that development, that it's amazing that we have developed and been created and propagate and continue to be human beings, trees, animals that follow after their own species, that there is not this whole conglomeration of all of these mutations around everywhere as a result of just these mutated genes that then can change development. So I think you'll see the chapter 8 and chapter 7 fit very nicely together. I've supplied you with a lot of videos. Again, in our Zoom meeting, I had mentioned that if you really feel like you're lost and you need to get a handle on some basics, my suggestion is to go to either Khan Academy, and that's KHAN, Khan Academy, or to the crash courses, crash course videos. There are just a wealth of information there, basic information. It's described in simple ways. It's chunked into information that is just palatable, and you can, a little bit here, a little bit there, so you can kind of put it together. I did have some students this week who have sent me questions or in the assignments. I hope that I answered all of your questions. I'm very happy to do that. When you have specific things that you want to talk about, or specific things that you need clarification, please let me know. I also had posted in the dashboard a notation about the next Zoom meeting, and in the first posting I didn't put the date, and so it sounds like it's next Tuesday, and it's not next Tuesday. It's actually October 18th. And I have been tutored now in a better way to manage my Zoom meetings. I wasn't real familiar with Zoom because I've used Canvas for a very long time. But I think that the Zoom meeting for number 2 is going to work out better, and I'm gonna be able to record it so that you'll be able to have it. Remember that we're getting into chapters that have more than 20 questions at the end of the chapter. You don't have to do all of them. You have to do 20. If you skip questions, just make sure that I know what numbers you've skipped, so I'm correcting them accordingly. I've got, I know what questions I'm looking at the answers for. And if you have any questions, if you need to email me, give me a call, that's perfectly fine. Toward the end of the month, toward the end of October, I'm going to be traveling again for about 10 days. So I will be totally available, even though I'm not in North Carolina. So please don't hesitate to call me or to email me, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful week. This has been beautiful weather, and our Indian summer, perhaps, that we can enjoy until we get into bitter cold. But I'll see you next week.